Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching right around the world. That's right, it's round 8. We're back for another week of SRL Project Cars 2, the Asia Pacific League. And like I said, round 8 tonight from the famous Laguna Seca Raceway in Monterey, California. And what a very famous circuit this is. And after the drama of last week, and I tell you what drama it was as well. Two teammates, Shake and Bake Racing, battling it out right to the end before Jono, aka Formula One Rocks, running out of fuel on the last corner. Disaster for him. As we take a look at this circuit here tonight, moving right along, he'll be looking to go one better this week and get back that championship lead. 3.6 kilometres, 11 turns, a famous track. And joining me yet again is my co-commentator, Jason Wilkinson. We've got new internet, we've got new microphones, we're a very professional setup here. And you've got to be when you're getting 1,000 views per week, as I welcome my co-commentator tonight. Jace, first of all, welcome, mate. And if we're getting 1,000 views in 360p quality on YouTube, what on earth are we going to be getting tonight in 720p with 60 frames a second? Mate, how are you? Welcome back for another week.
Yes, thank you. Good to be back. Hopefully I'm coming through nice and clear. I've upgraded the mic, same as you upgrading the internet. So we're here for tonight. Should be a good round. Our last super sprint round for the season. So should be good fun.
And don't we love, as we see the cars come out on track there, Jace, righty for Mad Sakumi Racing just coming out of the track to get a bit of track time in early. Don't we love these super sprint rounds? For everybody that's new to the format and indeed new to this championship, we stream every Thursday night from 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Time. And we'll just get that format for you now. Race settings, of course, race 1. And two races, I should say, tonight. 10-minute qualifying sessions, so shorter than normal, followed by two 14-lap races. Don't forget, like I always say each and every week, www.supremeracingleague.com for more information. Or if you want to get involved, as Righty gets a little bit too involved there, going off the track. And speaking of this track, very famous track, this one, Jace. I know we're famous for our useless statistics, but the name Laguna Seca is Spanish for dry lagoon. And, of course, this track built in 1957, and it was built around a dry lake bed before being reconfigured, actually, and they added 2 artificial ponds into the layout of this track, indeed to the infield. I know that none of you out there could get through the rest of the night without knowing that. But a challenging track, Jace, as we ride in the car. That's right. That's the sort of stuff we have for you tonight in crisp 720p, 60 frames a second. A challenging track, Jace. What's your experience here? I mean, none of these tracks are easy, but we've got some ripping corners, don't we? The Andretti hairpin, as you see Righty coming through now. The Ray Hall straight and the infamous corkscrew. Not an easy track, Jace.
Yeah, it's a tricky one. It's not one of my favourite tracks as a driver, but should be good fun to watch. It's a little bit of fast facts with Wilco. I've actually won a league race here, so as much as I don't like it, it's me a league win. So that was on a different league, of course, but yeah, so should be good. We've got Righty here on board. He's got his 18-month-old son watching, so I'm not sure what his name is, but how you going, buddy? And we might have a look. He's the first guy going to be completing his lap. Only a 10-minute quali has been mentioned, so it's pretty quick session here. It always flies through, but we're going to be looking for maybe a low 119. Should be the pole time. The 18.8 is the world record, so just keep an eye for that. Our boys like to smash that each week, so let's have a look what Righty can do for the first guy over the line.
Here he comes now out of the final corner now, turn 11 across the line. And these qualifying sessions go very quickly, don't they? We've already, well, what have we got? About 6.5 minutes left in this session. A big hello to your 18-month-year-old son there, Righty. We just want to keep that language clean, don't we? Apologies for earlier on in the stream, but now we're live and on the air. And V8 Man 51 and now Andy Holden for On the Couch Racing. So I'd say nearly everyone's out on track at the moment, looking to set a quick time, and indeed you have to, because these qualifying sessions go like that. As a kart dude, wow, look at that, into the 119.9s. And first man to crack the 120 mark so far in this qualifying session. HSV 5 tenths further back. and Formula One rocks. And I tell you what, you've got a feel for this man, don't you, Jace? And that reminds me, actually, let's just take a quick look at those championship standings. It's Kart Dude on top with 184 points, ahead of Formula One rocks with 151. And let's not forget about Bubbles either.
Yeah. Fun fact about Formula One rocks: he has not scored a point since race 2 at Ruapuna. He's missed Bruno. He disconnected in Bruno. He wasn't there for the 2. Or he's gone off there. He wasn't there for the 2, the Super Soon round at Nürburgring. And of course, he ran out of fuel on the last corner of the last lap last week from the lead. So for him to still be in this championship fight, it's an absolute. I don't even know what to say. But like it's crazy how he's still there. So it's going to be good to see what he can do tonight. He's got to win. He has to win both races tonight for him to sort of have a real good chance. But Kart Dude is not racing next week. But F1 Rocks is not racing at Bathurst. So it's all to play for this week. This is what we're going to see.
And that's what we love, especially about these super sprint rounds as well. There's pressure on at the best of times. As we take a look at that man, in fact, in Kart Dude, like we mentioned, he's going to miss next week as one of the cones goes flying there across the circuit. But it's almost like the old days in many motorsport categories, Jace, where you get to the end of the season and you'd have to almost drop around in terms of points. So that's pretty much what it's like. We know people are going to miss different rounds and miss out on points due to internet connections and other commitments. As we take a look at the crisp-looking bonnet cam. That's right, like we've been mentioning, 60 frames a second. All thanks to the good people at Optus Wireless Internet for getting me hooked up during the course of the week. I know you've been out there, and our loyal viewers will know this. The streams haven't been the best quality. In fact, we've had no stream at all some weeks. So anyway, it's great to have your company with us again tonight. Don't forget our new little thing we'll be doing tonight, Fast Facts with Wilco. Get that hashtagging on the stream, as I've neglected our dedicated viewers here, Jace. I do apologise there. Grace has joined us and saying a quality stream. And boy, it is about time. Thank you very much for joining us tonight, Grace. Of course, great quality.
Across the line. What's he going to do?
What is it going to be? Oh, 119.8. Has he improved, or he might have already set that time?
No, he did improve by a bit. And HSV pops in and Formula One rocks. Oh, look how close this is now.
Jono going with a 119.880. Just a little coat of varnish between those two. Just 0.76 of a second. And can HSV join the party too, Jace? He's a further 4/10 back at the moment. But he's got a quick lap of a 120.2. And I tell you what, he's on the ragged edge, isn't he? The New South Welshman for Sodi Motorsport. He's just come back from dinner, but he's not showing any ill effects now as he's coming up or around the towards the end part of the lap. We've got some famous corners here, don't we? That infamous corkscrew that HSV's coming up to now. Plenty of elevation changes.
It's going to be nice. Oh, is he going to pit? I don't know.
And he looks to be backing.
Let's see how much of a dip this corkscrew is. Ready?
Oh, there we go. Oh, geez, I tell you what.
His stomach just jumps there.
Yep, hopefully he hasn't eaten too much just before he came on tonight, because that is very stomach churning indeed. About a 16-degree drop from what I've read on Wikipedia. And boy, don't we love the Wikipedia pages on these tracks. Fantastic stuff. Here we go, Grace. Tune in. And I'll tell you what, here we go. Your man for Shake and Bake Racing, V8 Man 51. Dane currently in P5, 1.1 seconds off the pace tonight. He won't be happy with that, and he'll come across the line and try and better his time. What's it going to be? Up to third. And look at that. He has displaced HSV out of third position by 2 thousandths of a second. Fantastic stuff from HSV. From V8 Man. HSV will be wanting to better that, I should say. I beg your pardon, as now we look at Waffles. And boy, it's very close, isn't it? Between first and second, third and fourth. And here comes Waffles now, trying to negotiate the famous corkscrew corner. And you've got to get that approach right, otherwise you can end up in those trees in the background. It's a very unforgiving circuit, this one, that's for sure. As I tell you what, where has this qualifying session gone, people? Shit. For everyone watching at home, just a minute and a half left. Big hello to Alan Shep, who says, well done, good commentary, mate. Wow. Fantastic stuff.
Alan, that's one of my mates from work. So, Al, how you going, mate? You and Trav have a nice bevy down at Sinbad. So, glad to tune in, mate.
Great to have your company, Alan, as well as Rain, says great quality. Big Al from one of your mates, Jace. Great to have your company with us. I tell you what, Al, grab a bevy and have one for me too, because this is going to be a fantastic race here tonight. And I tell you what, we're going to be here to call all the action live and exclusive as we tick down now. Just under a minute remaining in this qualifying session. Can Jono beat Can't Do there? He just needs to find some time, doesn't he? All he needs is a tenth of a second here, a tenth of a second there, even less than that, as we ride inside the cockpit now for the Shake and Bake racing car as he comes around these final couple of corners here at Laguna Seca. And here he comes now round the final, approaching the final corner. There's some traffic up ahead, but it's not going to worry him. Out of turn 11 onto the main straight. Look at that, second gear, third gear. The sound of these V8 engines roaring as he comes across the line. Is it going to be pole position? No.
He's on the lap now. 20 seconds left, so this will be his last lap. So I think we might have to have a quick look at where Cartoon is on track, because he's just 2 corners ahead. So this is what we need to see. Cartoon and Flying Rocks. They love their battles in quali. So let's see what they can do tonight.
What can they do? 23 points in the championship race. 2 tenths down early going in this lap.
And Jono is 2 tenths up, so here we go.
Here we go.
Fubbles, they're not getting in the way.
I was going to say hammer time, but I don't know what we call it. Jono time or Fubbles. What's Fubbles going to do? Is he going to get out of the way as we approach the final part of this lap, approaching the corkscrew? Oh, Fubbles there nearly getting out of the way unintentionally for him, but don't get in the way there, Fubs. He's currently in P7. And he's 3 tenths up.
Way, please.
Bubbles, get out of the way.
Pull off the side. Pull out the side.
Do the right thing. Be a man. Pull off to the side of the track. He's going to go off now. Please don't come onto the circuit. Yep, good man. He's got out of the way for us, so we can continue to watch this lap. Here comes Formula One Rocks, and it's Cartoon as well. Out of the last corner, what can he do, Jace? Across the line, here he goes. Can he go better than 119.804?
No.
No. Can Formula One Rocks, can he take pole position? Yes!
Yes!
What a lap!
He's got it.
He's got it. What a lap from Formula One Rocks, a 119.753 to take pole position by just 51 thousandths or hundredths of a second. That's incredible stuff as Mighty Murph comes across the line. He can only get P6. And now Compact. Haven't seen much of him so far this evening for Team Aussie Racing. He's currently in P10, so he gets a top 10 start here tonight. But what a qualifying session. We say it each and every week. These super sprint rounds do it to us every time as we tick down to the end of qualifying. And what a qualifying session there. Formula One Rocks just waiting to the last second, Jace, to snatch pole position for tonight's race. He's looking for a bit of payback from last week, no doubt.
Yeah, definitely. Good lap by him there. You lost it actually about a tenth in that last sector, so Fubbles might have just held him up a bit, but it's not enough, it wasn't enough, thank God. So F1 could finish his lap, and 19.7 he just popped in. So that's good to see. Let's see how they go in the race. Remember last week they used to be starting on the front row together, and before turn 1 they were last and second last. So it's a bit of a tighter line here where there could be a really big crash if something happened at the front. But we'll continue the race and we'll run through the grid. As I'll just get everything set up. I think we lost Andy. He disconnected. So we'll be back for race 2. He's joined, but I don't know if it's going to let him get on the grid. We'll see, but we'll run through the grid.
Here we go. Thank you very much, Jace. 14 laps. Race 1, of course, super sprint round here. It's Formula One Rocks for Shake and Bake Racing, starting from pole position here at Laguna Seca tonight. And not too far behind him, nothing in it is there, is Can't Do for Sodi Motorsport. And then on the third row, it's last week's winner, of course, V8 Man 51 for Shake and Bake Racing. Jono's teammate there in third, a rear gunner for him. HSV in fourth for Sodi Motorsport. Yeah. So like we said, Shake and Bake Sodi, Shake and Bake Sodi. And they're going to be, I wonder if they're going to be working together. I'm sure they will be as they head into turn 1. Then it's Waffles and Bits for On the Couch Racing, ahead of our Kiwi friend Mighty Mirth for Ligma Racing, and Fubbles, our controller man for DM Motorsport, in 7th. A little bit disappointing for him, ahead of Righty in P8. And then it's Compact in P9 for Team Aussie Racing, and then Hecker Kosh starting for Mad Sakumi Racing in P10. Can he get a points finish tonight? That'll be interesting to see. Our official SRL League cameraman, Womp83, starting in P11 for Team Kiwi Racing tonight. Keep an eye on him. And then it is Mickey in the second of the two Team Aussie Racing entries, starting from P12. Like we said before, Jace, we've lost Andy, but hopefully he can join us for race 2. Fingers crossed he can get back for that. But we're going to get ready now for 14 laps between these two. You can see them both in your picture there. Okay. Championship rivals. The championship is alive and well. 3 rounds to go here in the SRL Project Cars 2 Championship. Who is going to reign supreme here tonight at Laguna Seca? The red lights are on. 3 lots of red lights. Here come the green. We are out, away and racing, and Kart Dude moves across there to cover off on Formula One Rocks as they drag down into turn 1. Formula One Rocks and Kart Dude are clear out in first and second as we head into turn 1. V8 Man slots into third. Tell you what, his teammate there, HSV a bit further back, a bad start for him. So it's Formula One Rocks, Kart Dude hot on his heels now through turn 1, and then the second of the Shake and Bake racing cars, V8 Man slotting into P3. And I tell you what, a fairly clean start. We thought there might be some havoc at the beginning of this one, but it looks to be all clean. Everyone's got through the start cleanly as they settle into lap 1 now. Formula One Rocks. Oh, there goes Fubbles there. He's, I tell you what, Fubbles, he's dropped down into P10 from must have been a bad start for Fubbles. As we take a look at Formula One Rocks, Kart Dude just 0.4 of a second behind him. So this is what we expected. Here we go. First time into the famous, the infamous, the unforgiving corkscrew corner here at Laguna Seca. So here we go. Formula One Rocks in P1. So they're pretty much as they started in the top 4 at least, with Shake and Bake and Sodi filling the first 4 positions here on lap 1. Coming through turn 11 now, the last corner. I tell you what, he's mighty close there, Kart Dude, as we ride on bonnet cam with him now through to complete the first lap of this race. Lap 1 out of 14. Like we mentioned, 2 races tonight. It's the super sprint rounds that we love so much. But, well, quite an uneventful start there, Jace. Everybody behaving themselves.
Yeah, it's good to see. We had Waffles jump down from P5 or 6 to E10 in the last moment, so he must have had a little bit of an incident. But, yeah, so we'll run through. We've got a nice camera angle coming into the left hand up here. So I'll let you run through. You can see how quick you go tonight, mate.
All right.
So we'll get it going now.
Let's do this. Let me just get the vocal cords going. Formula One Rocks, Kart Dude in second, HSV in third, V8 Man in fourth. There is a battle on, Jays. You might have to stop there. Compact. Yeah. Compact in fifth. I'll tell you what, we're going to keep going through this order. No, we're going to...
That's not good to go now.
All right, there we go.
Compact in fifth is really good.
Compact up to fifth. That's I tell you what, that's a pretty good effort from him in the Team Aussie racing car. He's got Mighty Murph for company though, so nothing certain in racing, that's for sure. And well, we've seen plenty happening. We saw all the action last week at the Dubai Autodrome, and it might be quiet at the moment as Formula One Rocks just starts to sneak away out the front. So Waffles and Bits there, currently in 11, Hekakosh in 12. So I tell you what, Formula, as we head back to our leader now. And I tell you what, he's just getting that gap out to about a second or so, Jace. But as we know, Kart Dude, he likes to just sit back there and just... I'll tell you what, he set a stunning lap time there too, a 1:20.8. So currently the fastest lap of the race. But we know Kart Dude, he likes to just sit back, doesn't he? And just wait for that mistake and wait for an opportunity to arise, doesn't he?
It's... One thing we sort of haven't mentioned tonight is the tyre wear is actually quite high. Although it's a super sprint round, so it means no mandatory pit stop, it's just a straight out sprint race. But the tyres could be almost completely dead by lap 10, 11, 12. So it's going to be who can manage their tyres the most during this opening phase. So it looks like F1 Rocks is going a little bit harder, but you never know with him, he could be in cruise control mode at the moment. So the Kart Dude, again, he could be pushing as hard as he can, but he might be saving his tyres. So you're not really sure until we get sort of to the last few laps, which might make it be interesting. But yeah, so these two should be, as I said, already 2 things ahead of HSV in third. So these two are always a class above everyone else. But it's going to be interesting to see if they're pushing hard or they're just conserving at the moment, as we'll see the lap times as they come over the line now.
Well, we say it every week, so many questions That's what we love about this. Not only is it unpredictable, as well, that gap we mentioned now down, well, he's halved the gap there, Car Dude, hasn't he? Half a second. Let's see what his lap time is across the line. Yeah. And look at that, a 1:21 flat compared to Formula One Rocks, a 1:21.5. So he's gained some time on that last lap. And you mentioned, Jace, HSV and V8 man slotting into third and fourth respectively there. Well, Mighty Murph and Compact are pretty close. In fact, Mighty Murph's jumped Compact there, and now they're swapped positions again. So fifth and sixth having a great old ding-dong battle. We might have to watch that. And now, here we go. Side by side, Compact it is. And then Mighty Murph for Ligma Racing. Tell you what, those two, I saw it on the timing screens. They were having a fantastic battle there for P5 and P6. And don't forget either about Righty there in seventh. And I'm sure his son will be cheering him on, saying, "Go, Daddy, go." Currently in P7. As well, what's happening there? That gap is getting awfully close, Jace, as we dip down into the corkscrew yet again. Geez, I love this corner. One of the most famous corners in motorsport. And Car Dude, geez, I tell you what, some of the camera angles around here, Jace, are absolutely superb. And don't we love them?
One of the better tracks.
One of the better tracks.
Which was pretty average, but this is pretty good cameras. Yeah, nice low zoom in as low zoom in. This is a drag race almost here.
Well, talk about zoom in. I reckon Car 2 will be looking to zoom into that gap, heading down into the Andretti hairpin at turn 1. Lap 5 now out of 14. Shorter race, of course. 1 of 2. Oh, I tell you what, Formula One Rocks. Jono there looks as though he ran a bit wide, but he tried to collect it all up again, and he maintained his position on track now as well. Here we go, Car Dude. What's he going to do? Is he going to have a go somewhere? He's a little bit further back now. I don't think he's going to be close enough, but we've seen stranger things happen in the past. And what a beautiful track this is. Like we mentioned, 11 corners. Not only the corkscrew, the Rahal straight, the rainy curve. I'll tell you what, some of the best corners around the world, you've got to say, here in the beautiful sunny county of Monterey in California now, and the beautiful run up the hill. This is the one we're talking about, that Rahal straight, heading up to the famous corkscrew. And here goes Mighty Murph. Oh, is he going to have a go? And, oh, yes, he might indeed. Righty, in fact, it was who seemed to pass the both of them there off screen. And they've dropped back there. Compact it was who's dropped back. But Mighty Murph takes P5. He must have made a mistake.
Up to P8, so that's good from him. He was down in last, remember? So, and he runs wide there. But front.
He's done all right there. Our man Waffles up to P8 from P12. Now Car 2, here he comes across the line, and have a look at those lap times. Everybody watching at home, 1:21.1 that last lap from Formula One Rocks compared to a 1:21.3. And tell you what, third and fourth, HSV and V8 man there, mid 1:21. So they're a little bit, a few seconds back at the moment, but you can just see in your picture there, first, second, third, and fourth all together. And we mentioned these two boys at the front, Jace. They're in a class of their own, but anything can happen. Don't count out third and fourth at this stage of the race.
Yeah, definitely. I said these two could come together, unfortunately. It's always a thing that could happen. Car 2 might want to, he wants to win so he can put the championship out straight away. So he's very under the collar at the moment. So this could be a ding-dong battle here. It's a beautiful track to have battles with. A lot of different lines and crisscrosses you make, so let's see what these two can do. Again.
Here we go. And, well, we said about the qualifying sessions going awfully quick, of course. Lap 6 out of 14, so almost at half race distance here at Laguna Seca Raceway. 1 of 2 races, like we mentioned. Don't go anywhere. We'll have all the action from race number 2 as well. And good to see Andy's joined back there, so hopefully we'll have his company for race 2. Don't forget, everybody watching at home, get your comments in on the live stream. Stephen McDonald, great to have your company, one of our beloved regulars here on the SRL live streams. As Fubbles, is he going to go? Well, I tell you what, well, his brother Fubbles, perfect timing there, Jace. Yeah. Timing impeccable for DM Motorsport. Fubbles couldn't quite go down the inside there. He looks to have a time penalty as well, along with Righty as we ride cockpit cam here. So Fubbles in P7. Oh, is he going to go down the inside? He's going to keep his finger on that R2 button, I'm sure. Is he going to keep his foot on it? Yes, he is. Waffles as well with that comeback drive was also very interested behind Righty and Fubbles in 6th and 7th. As we get back to our leading duo, Car Dude and Formula One Rocks. And I tell you what, Jono looks very composed, very calm. We mentioned he hasn't scored points since Ruapuna, another stream which collected 2,000 views actually. I just remembered that anyway. No, not giving ourselves a shameless plug there, Jace, but anyway. So here we go. So now, yeah, nothing wrong with that, is there, surely? It's Kartu now looking to put all sorts of pressure on Jono. But at the moment, Jace, he seems to be up to the task. He's not putting a foot wrong at the moment, Jono.
Yeah, we like to put the commentator's curse on, so I hope you didn't just put the locker on him for the young man. But as long as these two have not a clean battle, I'm sure they'll both come away with a smile on their face as they're pure races, these two. I'm just sort of looking through. We haven't definitely still got that battle for 16th and 6th and 7th. They're about 16 seconds behind, so but I feel like this battle at the front is about to go off any moment here. So Kartu looks like he's cooled off his tyres to the first part of the race, but now he's starting to come back at our man F1 Rocks. So let's see. These two are 2-2.
Tell you what, he's just biding his time. He's waiting, isn't he? Like, it's just like, you know, he's some sort of wild animal or something, and Formula One Rocks is his prey. I'm going to stop there because I'm not too sure where I'm going with that. As Shake and Bake Racing, boy, V8 man, he's slotted into P4. And Grace, who's always watching our streams, we hope you've been feeding our man. I think she has been feeding him, Jace, because he has picked up the pace in the last couple of weeks. He took victory after that epic battle. Of course, at the Dubai Autodrome last week. A little bit lucky, some might say, but, well, to finish first, you've got to finish, as they say. As Kartu, he'll be looking to finish first tonight and continue to gain that championship lead. And, well, who knows, if he wins tonight with that points gap, it could be possibly out of reach of Jono. But like we said, everyone's missing rounds, so who knows? There's Grace there.
I'm coming from what you said. It's 33 points between Kartu and F1 Rocks at the moment. So a win for F1 Rocks and a second place for Kartu will make it down to, what's that, 25, it's about 27 points, 28 points.
Don't ask me, Jace. I didn't complete maths in year 12. And that gap will be whatever we say it is here tonight, but it's going to be mighty, mighty close. Formula One Rocks, can he get the job done here? It'll be 50% job done if he can beat Kartu tonight. That's 26 points.
That's what it's going to be, yeah.
That's what it's going to be.
The old fingers and work it out, but yeah, so it'll be 26 points if they finish this way, which again, if they finish the same way again in race 2, could mean back down to 19 points. So, all to play for still.
All to play for indeed.
Kartu was going to have to go there. Looks like he was going to have a little sneaky move.
It's coming. We know it is. We know it's very, very close. Just 5 laps to go now remaining in this one. Race 1 here at Laguna Seca Raceway. Down into turn 1. Kartu. Oh, there's contact.
He's unloaded him.
They've made contact with each other. And Kartu. Oh, that's going to bring HSV back into play. So how, well, I tell you what, you've got to give it to Kartu for sportsmanship there. For everybody watching at home, I was going to say he readdressed there, but he just pretty much stopped in the middle of the track, and we talked about them being in a class of their own. And they were that far ahead that Kartu could stop, have a cup of tea, just wave to him, say sorry, and they could both get back on with racing again. But having said that, that gap now, HSV 2 seconds and closing now, so hopefully that hasn't put HSV, or Kartu I should say, and Formula One Rocks off their game, but they're very professional. Just, I tell you what, it was almost like it was in slow motion, wasn't it, that, Jace? They just sort of slowly tapped each other, and then Kartu just said, okay, sorry about that, mate, and off they went. So we said they might be getting close, and he might have a go, but I don't think he wants to get that close, Jace.
Yeah, I think he just missed his braking point just by a fraction, and with the different lines you can run through turn 1, he just sort of gave him a little tap, and it was hard enough to make F1 spin. But the reason he slowed down was not only for being sportsmanlike. He could have got a 5 or 10 point penalty, which could be crucial. So he played it safe. As you said, lucky they were in the class of their own, so they were far enough ahead that HSV and V8 man couldn't capitalise. But so the only thing is though, remember how we said tyre wear is quite high. If you put a little bit of a spin, a bit of load through the tyres, that can wear them out pretty quickly. So although he's back behind at the moment, Cartu, if he's done enough damage to F1 Rocks' tyres, he could see F1 Rocks sliding around towards the last lap or two here.
Well, so much still to play out here in this one. Down to 3 laps to go here. And you can see how much time they've lost. Look at that, HSV just 3 seconds. That gap is staying steady though back to HSV. So I think the 2 front runners don't have too much to worry about apart from themselves, of course. As so I guess we're going to take a look at these other boys. They like their airtime. We like airtime for the sponsors. They like to look at themselves back on the stream. Womp for Team Kiwi Racing down in P12. 40 seconds off the lead. Only 6 seconds off Heka Kosh in P10. Ahead of him is Mickey for Team Aussie Racing, who was a fair way up the order, but he's managed to drop down now. His teammate, in fact, also having a pretty good race, currently in P8. Fubbles is currently in P9 too there, Jace. Disappointing for him. Our man on the pad, of course, as Cartu. Well, that gap, I wonder if Cartu might have lost a little bit of confidence, and maybe he might have been in that groove beforehand, before that incident a couple of laps ago at turn 1, because that gap between Jono and Cartu now 1.4 seconds. As we take a look at Righty then, P6, 7 seconds behind Mighty Murph, and then it's Compact. 4, 5, 7, what is he? 6 seconds behind him then in P7. So 2 laps to go into the end of this one. Fubbles in P8. So all down the inside, and there's contact Fubbles there. Fubbles, I tell you what, must be something happening at turn 1. Fubbles just taking some inspiration from Cartu. Looked very similar to the incident we saw earlier on in proceedings. And he's, yes, I think he knew he better let him through there after the sportsmanship that we saw from Cartu. Fubbles just got the job done completely there and was good enough to wait for Compact there. So good stuff for him. So now that should all be fair now, and they can continue their little battle for P8. And if anything, that's extended the gap to Waffles in P7. So here's Formula One Rocks, and look at that gap. Jace, we mentioned Formula One Rocks' tyres, but it might be and Cartu down to P3 now.
Yeah, what's going on? He must have a spin.
Well,
that's big for the championship. Now V8 Man, F1 Rocks' teammate, it's all over him.
He's
so F1 Rocks, you see V8 Man's flashing lights, doing the old Cartu, getting his service. Oh, he's almost got turned around there. Well, here we go.
This is going to be intense. All while that's been happening, it was, the beneficiary of that was Cartu's teammate, HSV, up to P2. And I've got to say, the pressure's off Jono. Formula One Rocks up there in P1 by about 4.5 seconds. But anyway, V8 Man now trying to chase that podium finish. And there's a bit of you can sniff that blood in the water. And yeah, we know Grace, we won't worry at all. We know he's had a feed this afternoon, because look at that, he's absolutely on it. A sniff of a podium, and it does funny things to these drivers. But, well, it is very, very close. I reckon there's a magnet in turn 1 for between the Shake and Bake cars and the Sodi Motorsport cars as well, because they've been very, very close this afternoon. Not a lot of action in this race, Jace, but I tell you what, it's hotted up in the last few laps.
Yeah, definitely. I'm wondering if Cartu caught the auto spin curve just on that corner just they went through there, the turn 10 I think it is. That could have been one, unless it sort of looked like he was coming back on track at the last corner, so maybe he's looped at the last corner. So we'll have to go back in the replays and have a look at that, or ask him what happened there. But yeah, so that's a big mistake. That's 10-point gain. That goes from 26 points to 23 points for F1 Rocks if they stay like this. It looks like Cartu has just pulled out his finger again, and he's just popped in a 21.8, so he's 1.1 past on V8 Man in that last lap. So that battle's good. Looks like it's already done and dusted, but F1 Rocks looking good.
He's looking good. I tell you what, he's back this week. It's been a long time between drinks, a long time between points for Jono, our man Formula One Rocks. He hasn't had yes, it is the last lap. Jeez, I tell you what, lap 14, last lap of this race. He's had a pretty lean patch, Formula One Rocks, but he's going to be back on the winners list. Disconnection issues, not enough fuel in the car. That's never a good thing.
10 litres extra fuel, he's not going to need that, but I'll let you bring him home here.
Let's bring him home. Here he comes out of the last corner. 10 extra laps or litres of fuel as he comes across the line to win race 1 here at Laguna Seca Raceway. And he can start eating into that championship lead that Cart Dude has. And HSV struggling to get across the line. Well,
that was team tactics there. So he's very P2.
Team orders there. You might say that Cart Dude is faster than you. I tell you what, that takes me back to the old days of Ferrari as Righty comes across the line in P6. Big hello to his 18-month-year-old son, of course, who won't be able to probably understand what we're saying, but that's a fantastic result for him. Shades of Austria from 2002 every time I see 2 red cars, and of course Hockenheim in 2010. But anyway, enough of the history lesson. Here comes Womp, P10. This is a good result for him. The Team Kiwi Racing entry across the line to get a single championship point. But it's all about this man, HSV. Well, I tell you what, the team tactics of letting his teammate through there, as we saw Cart Dude on your screen. He ended up finishing in P2, 11 seconds behind our eventual race winner, Formula One Rocks, in P1. He's back on the winners list, like we mentioned. And then Cart Dude in P2, followed by the second of the 2 Sodi Motorsport entries in P3. Then V8 Man, Shake and Bake Racing. That's a pretty close championship battle, too, in the Constructors' Championship between those 2 teams in 4th. Mighty Murph slotting into 5th for Ligma Racing, Righty in P6. And then it was Waffles in P7, Fubbles in P8 for DM Motorsport. And he was 3 seconds ahead of Compact in P9. And then as we head further down the order there, Womp in P10, Mickey in P11, missing out on a points finish ahead of Heka Kosh in P12. There your final results as we're joined by our race winner, Jason Wilkinson. Jono is on the line. Can you hear us, mate?
Yeah, mate.
Fantastic result, Jace. I'm going to let you do the questions while I sneak off. We're going to have a quick commercial break, for me, I should say. I'll let you talk to our winner from race 1, Jono.
No worries. So, Jono, you did what you needed to do, get the win, got pole as well, which was extra handy. Tell us what happened with Cart Dude going into turn 1 with about 5 or 6 laps to go.
I think he just braked too late and hit the back of me. He waited for me, so all good.
Yeah, all good. Yeah, and then I'm not sure if you noticed towards the last couple of seconds there, the old team orders there. So HSV pulled aside and let Cart Dude get P2, which means the gap is 26 points at the moment.
Yeah.
Do you think, would you expect your teammate to do the same, or?
I don't know. I don't think so. Because look at the last race. If I expected it, so whatever.
There we go. Hard-hitting questions with Wilco. So, thanks to us, mate. We'll get Brody in now, and good luck for race 2.
Cheers, mate.
Can you go faster in quali? That's the question.
I know. We'll see. Let's have a go.
We'll see.
Well, thank you. I'm back, and thank you, Jono. Like we say it every week, but he's a man of few words. Let's his talking get done on the track. As Jace, we've got everybody's favourite Tasmanian, Cart Dude, joining us in the lobby. Mate, we've got to ask the question. What happened there? What happened? You were cruising along, you had a crack at Jono into turn 1, it didn't quite come off, you readdressed, and then you managed to find yourself in 3rd place, Brody. What happened?
Yeah, I ran out of talent, didn't I?
We actually missed it on the stream, so what actually happened? You just spun the last corner, or the second last corner?
Yeah, I was second last, dropped it on that curb there, and
yeah, the other spin curve.
Started to get a bit understeered towards the end, and after I spun, I looked at my tyre pressures, and they were P2. So
okay.
Was not good, but that's my fault, and tidy up, and hopefully it's a bit better for the next race. But it was a good battle up until that point, so I made a miss of it. But
do you want to let us know on the Cart Dude is faster than you and the last corner there?
Yeah, I guess you've seen that. No, Dean Dean was voluntarily offered. I didn't ask him or anything. But, he's a
Yes.
good
teammate, yep.
What a good teammate.
Yep,
What
we believe being teammates with HSV in previous leagues and on very different Formula One games and whatnot, and he's very generous when it comes to that. On different strategies and whatnot. He he will let you through.
Drink there, Trev, isn't that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Still waiting for the videos. But here he is now.
I know that we're. I tell you what, we're going to be very old member by the time that happens. Oh, I tell you what, we better just be careful there, Jace, with what you're going with. As Dean joins us, you finished P3 there, Dean. Well, what happened on that? What happened on the last lap there, mate? You just were happy to let your teammate through for the championship fight. Very. Well, I guess very. What would you say? Very Ferrari of you, I guess you might say, letting your teammate through there.
No, I have no problem doing it. I'm well out of it, so rather seeing my teammate take it out.
But as a racer, Dean, surely every sort of, everything in you must be just wanting to get the best possible result, but playing the team game, a few team tactics. Are we going to see that in race 2 as well?
That depends, mate. If I'm leading, I'm winning, mate. It took him 2 mistakes, so it's not like I was settled. I was content with it, so not an issue.
Oh, looks like Katu owes you a beer then at the Grand Prix next year.
A VB.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Sorry, I'd rather drink out of the toilet, but anyway.
Just thrown away the VB sponsorship there, mate, so thanks for that.
Well, I'd say that.
We'll go get ready for race 2, and Katu's already gone, but good luck for race 2, HSV.
And Dean there joining us. Thank you very much, HSV there. Finishing in P3, could have been P2, of course, but deciding to, be very kind to his teammate and let him through to help with his championship. And Anthony Riley there joining us on the stream. And I tell you what, it's a good thing, Anthony.
We haven't done, have we? Yeah,
what about a goon bag, he says. But, this is... Now, I'll let you do the formalities, Jace, just to give our man, Anthony, a plug. The fantastic podcast we've got going, Jace, if you want to tell us a little bit more about it.
Yeah, definitely. As we say each week, our good mate Anthony has his podcast up, Minds of Motorsport. He's done, many famous guys. Most recent is Dunlop Super 2 driver Adam Marge. I'll let you finish off that one, mate. I stuffed up his name and I've just gone blank. Adam Marjam. I can't even say his name. Anyway.
Yep.
Yes.
Adam.
So you did a nice. Adam. Yeah. What am I saying? I'm all over the place. But yeah. So good stream. He talked. If you want to look at it now, while we're not actually racing, we're in the pre-race lobby. Just type in on Instagram, on Facebook, or even on the interweb, Minds of Motorsport, and it should come up with a podcast there.
Fantastic stuff, and we will, as we do every week, we like to put the links in the description as well. Likes to interview famous people. We haven't been on the podcast yet. Yourself and you and me, Jace.
I guess speak English, so I don't think I'll be good.
Oh, that's all right. We know what you're trying to say, brother. And that's fantastic. So, like we said, Minds of Motorsport podcast, Facebook page. Get amongst it. All the social media links, Instagram as well. Big thanks to Anthony too for accepting my friend request as well. I'm not going to stalk him, but he is very famous, very smooth looking unit too. From what I've seen so far. So fantastic stuff. Get amongst it. We're ready. We're getting ready here for race number 2.
Get started, eh?
As let's get this show on the road. I think everybody is with us. Hopefully Andy's managed to join back in. I can't. Yes, he is. Yep.
Yeah, it's just Rob, Harry, and who's the other guy I'm missing? Nemo. So that's 16, 17, and 18. So yeah, here we go.
There we go. Race 2.
Let's see the boys can knock off that world record time you see in the bottom right there.
Can they get that world record? Who knows? Light cloud, the weather conditions for this track, like we mentioned, 3.6 kilometres, 11 turns. And later in the day too, Jace. So that could have an effect on tyre temperatures, tyre wear, all that sort of stuff. as we are going to get ready to go racing. Now, if you're not sure about this format for the Super Sprint rounds, 2 races, 2 qualifying sessions, and 2 10-minute qualifying sessions, of course, followed by 2 races of 14 laps, I should say. And don't they look very nice under lights, even more so.
High quality stream, mate.
In that, I tell you what, I keep saying it, I might just say it one more time as the sun sets here at Laguna Seca Raceway. Just in the bottom right hand corner of your stream, don't forget to click the little thing that says quality, and up to the top, that's right, big red letters, HD, live and exclusive in 720-60 frames per second. You know what, I'm going to click on that just for the fun of it, because boy, I'm loving this quality here tonight. And fantastic. I tell you what, we love every series in race 2. I hear everybody out there watching the stream tonight asking that question. Well, it's a good one. Because when you think about it, Jace, there's a lot of pressure on these drivers. The championship, it's tight at the top. And we saw Dean there doing the right thing by his teammate and letting him through on the line as we see these cars coming out here. Now, what's it like going, I guess, the day-night transition, Jace, at a circuit from day to night? Is it difficult to sort of find your braking points? What's the visibility? There's obviously going to be a change, isn't there, as the sun goes down? Is it a lot harder, or what do you need to do differently?
For the this sort of twilight sort of race, it's not too different. We've made it so there's no sun, like direct sunlight in the eyes as you would get through going through this corner here. So you've got that beautiful backdrop there, as you see, that's almost perfect there. Nice orange sky, a nice beautiful American sun we've got here. Yeah, it's not too different. If we get into the actual, Dubai night sort of transition, then yes, that is where it becomes a bit of a challenge in your braking points. But this should be pretty, it shouldn't go any much darker than this for the race. It's only a short race. But here's HSV going to start his first lap.
Here comes HSV, first man out on a hot lap here, as we see that beautiful Monterey, California sun setting here at Laguna Seca Raceway. And HSV deciding to get out early. Look at that, already 2 and a bit minutes gone in this qualifying session before these boys even start a hot lap. But anyway, let's stick with this one as beautiful bonnet cam there. Very crisp indeed. Now inside the car. Down, here we go, back onto the back straight now. And what can he do? Through turn 5. Heading up towards turn 6 and onto the Rahal straight. Very easy to go wide there and end up on the dirt. And let's see how HSV is going to negotiate this one as the cameraman. He's going that quick, Dean. We're struggling to keep up with him as he goes down left and right through the corkscrew. Oh, he gets it a little bit wrong there. He took a bit too much, a bit more off than what he could chew there on the curb there. And he looks like, has he slowed down a bit? Has he pulled out of that hot lap?
Would have to slow down for the quarter cut penalty then. So you just have to slow down, otherwise the lap he's on now and then the next lap can get invalid. So that's his first run done, but I'm sure he'll, this lap he's about to start now should be pretty good as we flip to Long, who might be the first guy to actually put in a competitive time, so we could see him up the top there.
Here he goes, Womp for Team Kiwi Racing. And Fubs as well, setting the fastest lap, provisional pole position, a 1:21.8. That's pretty handy for Fubs, I've got to say. But you've got to say those times will be tumbling. Track temperature's probably a little bit lower, but not too much. It's not completely pitch black.
It's only a couple of degrees cooler, so I think the track likes to absorb the sun. So even if there's not sunlight on the actual track, or there's no sunlight on the actual track, the temp is still, still quite high for a track. But as these drivers keep driving and get later into the race, the track might drop a bit in temp, but it'll pick up in grit. So you could see some fast times towards the end of this 10-minute session.
There's a cart dude there. We mentioned, look at these times. They're starting to tumble. We mentioned that, Jace. Just under 6 minutes remaining in this qualifying session. Cart dude with a 1:20.770. And what can Formula One Rocks do? Here comes Jono across the line. What's he going to be? Is he going to beat him? Yes, he is. A 1:20.2. Not quite the fastest qualifying lap we've seen tonight. Of course, Cartu getting into the 1:19.9s earlier on this evening. But, and then HSV, look at that, pops in a 1:20.2 as well for good measure. just 32 thousandths or so of a second behind Formula One Rocks. And geez, I tell you what, how would that... that's going to be interesting for the championship too, you'd reckon, if we know HSV likes to be a wingman, a bit like Valtteri Bottas, as Toto Wolff said last race at Hungary there, but Valtteri didn't really like that too much. But geez, what can HSV do if he can get amongst it? As V8 man, here he comes. Let's see V8 man come across the line. Fed, happy and ready as he pops up to P5 tonight. He's not going to be entirely happy with that. A 1:20.8. There's still speed in that machine of his. But these times, they're very close, aren't they, Jace? Look at that, 5 tenths. They're pretty close, Cartoon and Waffles. HSV close with Formula One Rocks. And, well, that's going to throw a spanner in the works if HSV can start on the front row. What can he do to... what can he do to throw Formula One Rocks off his game? But like we said, Jace, there's a big speed differential. Race pace-wise, Jono has pretty much got them covered. And my goodness me, somebody hose down that man, because he's just put in a 1:19.541. My goodness me, Jace, there's going to be a day of total fire ban here in Monterrey, Mexico. Those temperatures might be a little bit cooler, but Formula One Rocks is hot, hot, hot. Look at that, a 1:19.5. Incredible stuff from Jono.
Yeah, definitely. I was about to say, the reason why the times aren't straight into the 19s, it could be from changing from the race sort of setup and race sort of rhythm you get into back onto a flat-out quality lap. But sometimes it can take a lap or two to get back into it. So that could have been the reason why, you know, Car Dude's only done a 1:20.7 and that. So let's have a look what we're going to sort of do. As I said, the track will get a lot quicker towards the end of this session, so we could even do 19, which could be quite good to see.
There's Mighty Murph.
On a good lap at the moment.
HSV's on a pretty... Oh, he is too. He's slightly up there, 11 thousandths of a second quicker as Mighty Murph pops up to P4, and HSV, he's around at the corkscrew, I think that was, from what I could see there. It's a very difficult corner as we look at V8 man. And hopefully that doesn't affect too many other hot laps or people who are on hot laps, as Can't Dude. Well, he's not going to be happy with that. At 1:20.7, almost...
as we saw, that's why he flicked back to the pits and floored it coming out. So he's down to P7. So pressure is on Cartu at the moment because he's got to really nail. He might get 2 laps in, so he has 2 goes at it. But if he gets, say, want to cut this in the next lap, gets him P7 at the highest you can get. So
yeah,
it shows the pressure of its quality session.
He's going to. We talk about this all the time. And he's going to have to negotiate a bit of traffic here as well, Jace, as there's a car further ahead of him. He looks to be off the track, and well, I tell you what, this he's going to have another. He's going to have another 2 goes at this, as he's backing off a little bit to free up some space. We see this so often in Formula One qualifying as well. Just getting a little bit of space ahead of him there, and I reckon he's going to be all right here, because might be Righty or somebody.
Sure right. Yeah,
is it Righty? Yep.
So
it's Righty in front of him.
Righty, he shouldn't be, you know, a second and a half slower to what that gap is between these two here. So unless he makes a mistake, then that could hamper Cartude's lap. But Cartude just got to sort of focus on the back of Righty's car and try and race. And sometimes doing that, you go pick up.
Well, it's not going to be the... Here he goes through Sector 1. What's the time going to be? I reckon we might see it soon, Jace. Here comes Cart Dude. Is he on a quick lap at the moment? No, nothing's coming up just yet. So
it might come up through here.
Here we go. I reckon we're going to see it now.
Top of the hill, we might see it, not sure.
Here he comes.
No, I don't think so. So the time is just gone a little bit weird for a second, but it looks like a pretty good lap. That's the main thing. So let's see if we can get back onto the, you know, first or second row. That's the main thing we need to do.
Even if it's not a 1:19.5, Jace, we need to see a solid lap from Cart Dude, and I'm sure he'll be agreeing with us as he comes through the last corner, turn 11 then. Currently sitting in P7, he's going to have another go at this, but he's only got one more go, and I reckon this looks pretty solid here from Cart Dude. He comes across the line, and he goes into P3.
Waffle's done a good lap. We missed that. P2 at the moment, so P3 from Cart Dude, and he's got Righty still still at the inside, just in front of me here, so this could be a little bit of a game changer here. Because Mighty Murph and V8 Man, they could go faster. They only have to get, 2/10 faster, and they've jumped Cartoon here, so...
Wow.
So you must see where F1 is. He's just starting up there, so... Best quality position ever, so everyone's on their last laps now.
So qualifying is done and dusted here for session number 2 here this evening. And boy, we're seeing a little bit of a mixed up order this time. It's Formula One Rocks in P1 ahead of Waffles and Cart Dude. HSV his teammate, or V8 Man.
That's the best he can do.
That's the best he can do, Jace. That's the end of it for him. So P6 for V8 Man. Here comes Cart Dude. I reckon, he's got...
I think Righty must have gone in the pit. Yeah, right in the pit, so he's let Cart Dude through, so this could be what Cart Dude needs.
So here we go, Cart Dude. Coming towards the end of the lap, about 5 or 6 cars still out on track, finishing their hot laps as Cart Dude comes across the line. Here we go, P3, can he make it pole position? He comes, he can only, he's bettered his time.
Ooh.
And very importantly,
Waffles gets him again. No, Waffles got him just at the end there, so he's back to P3.
Well, this is incredible. Cart Dude went from P3 to P2, back to P3 in a matter of seconds. And here comes Formula One Rocks. Can he drive an extra nail into Cart Dude's coffin? Across the line? No, he can't improve. And that is the end of qualifying. As your dodgy mate Alan Shep says, I've won trivia and had a few frothies. Jono, have an extra one from me, Alan, because you'll need a few more of those frothies, because you're going to get ready for race 2 on this fantastic high-quality live stream. I'm going to put the Moz. I'm going to talk about commentators' curse. If I keep saying how good this stream is, it'll probably cut out on us. You never know. Nothing's safe in this business of live streaming, that's for sure. As Formula One Rocks taking pole position. Let's hopefully, let's get through that, Jace. Enough about that. Yeah. Here we go. So let's take a look at the grid. And, well, a bit of a surprise there. It's Formula One Rocks on P1. And he's got Waffles this time for company ahead of Cart Dude. Oh, I tell you, that's going to be tasty heading down into Turn 1 right behind Formula One Rocks there in P1. Mighty Murph in P4. Good result for him.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, good.
HSV further back. He can be Cart Dude's wingman yet again. He's been doing that all through this evening. Speaking of a wingman, V8 Man, Formula One Rocks, well, he's not going to be able to help Jono too much there, down in P6, the head of Fubbles in P7.
Good kamikaze and clean out after the field. I don't think the man's got that in him, which is good to see, obviously. But
he's a man of honour. I'm sure Grace will agree with us. Nothing bonsai from him into Turn 1. Fubbles there, like we mentioned, in P7. Righty in P8. Hello to your little man, Andy, in P9. Thanks very much for joining us, Andy. Great to have you back. Compact for Team Aussie Racing. Rounding out the top 10, then it's Womp. Oh, I just love Womp. Anyway, so Hekakosh, here we go. Mad Sakumi Racing. Forget about my bromance with Womp. Oh, don't he take some great pictures? Mickey there in P something or other. Here we go. The rest of the results there on your screen from qualifying as we get ready to go racing here. It's going to be Formula One Rocks and Waffles heading down into Turn 1. Don't count out Cart Dude and the rest of them as we get ready to go racing. Oh, it looked like Waffles he's a bit too eager to get away there on the start line. Could have been a jump start. There's contact further down the back. Oh, they're into it. They're into it. HSV and Righty there going toe-to-toe into Turn 1. I tell you what, there was some contact there as we look at that. Everyone with their headlights on. Formula One Rocks and Cart Dude up to P2. He was, I tell you what, he got P2 and then Waffles took it off him, but Cart Dude back where he belongs now in P2. Yet again for Waffles, P3, V8 Man. Good start for him, P6 to P4. Mighty Murph dropping a place there at the start. Oh my goodness gracious me, Hekakosh, Andy. They're all into it.
Just getting a nice camera so that'll stay the same. Yeah,
righty, there we go.
Cart's got there at Turn 1, so Waffles must have just been held outside from held on the outside line from F1 Rocks, but that's what F1 Rocks needed. Well, there's also what Cart Dude needs to do, is get into P2.
So P2, and he needed to do it quite early, didn't he, to clear Waffles. Waffles slotting into P3 like we mentioned. And V8 Man, a good start for him. Mickey in P13, so he made contact with HSV, both those boys. Currently trailing round at the back of the field in 12th and 13th as we come through to complete lap 1. And it's pretty much deja vu as they come across the line. It's Formula One rocks for Shake and Bake Racing. Going to be interesting to see those championship, Constructors Championship points too, because they've been having a great old ding-dong battle there. Those two, they were very close coming into this week, as Jono's teammate, V8 man there in P4, trying to put all sorts of pressure on Waffles. Compact there, Mighty Murph was up there in P5. Oh, someone's gone off righty again.
Signs flying around, I think.
And, well, you wouldn't want to be a cone. You wouldn't want to be a cone into turn one, that's for sure. As righty there, just backing off a little bit and letting HSV through, doing the right thing. Fubbles rounding out the top 10. Mickey there, currently in P12. Hekakosh in P13. Keeping Mickey honest for Team Aussie Racing as we head back to the lead pack. Lap 2 out of 14. He managed to eat into that championship lead ever so slightly, barring the team orders from Sodi Motorsport. But, well, he's doing everything he needs to do. There's nothing more he can do, is there, Jace, than maintain this lead and soak up all of that pressure from Brody in P2.
Yeah, it's going to see that dude's probably not going to get. Oh, he's probably going to get sick of the that rear wing of F1 Rocks here. But hopefully, from his point of view, he's going to hope he can get a nice X off this last corner and have a nice inside move to get into the lead, because that's what he needs to do. Otherwise, that championship gap is going to go down to 19 points, which with Cartoon again missing next week, if F1 Rocks wins, that means F1 Rocks is in front by 6 points there. So yeah, it's all to play for still. As I said, I still can't believe how F1 Rocks is still in this championship fight here. So
shows you.
Looks like Cartoon might have a little go here, maybe.
Ooh, here we go. Is Cartoon going to have a little cheeky look here through turn number 5, heading towards up the hill towards turn 6 and the Ray Hall straight? You'd be a very brave man to have a go at it into the corkscrew. Boy, wouldn't we love to see that? I'm sure all of the viewers at home would love to see that too. But here he goes. He's very close, just 0.3 of a second. Oh, Formula One rocks.
Has a bit of a moment.
Getting it all wrong into the corkscrew corner. That one of those auto spin curbs. Those famous or infamous auto spin curbs that can have you facing the wrong way quicker than you can say, this is a magnificent race. Oh boy, I tell you what, no jokes tonight, okay? We might just put those to bed like my 10-week-old daughter. As here we go. I tell you what, it's like a babysitting club. We've been mentioning the young kids all night, but enough about that. Here comes Cartoon, lap 4 out of 14. Oh, it looks as though he just brushed the wall there. As here we go into turn 1, the Andretti hairpin. Oh, he's awfully close. Once again, Waffles falling further back behind these boys. But I tell you what, Cartu there setting a 1:20.9. He's hot. As we ride now with, well, I tell you what, we were riding on board with Cartu. Now as we go to the wider shot of this, oh, he's very, very close, Jason. Look at that gap. He's going to have a go down the outside. You're not going to get through there, son. Through turn 5, up the hill yet again. This battle, they got a little bit too close in race 1, and then Cartoon seemed to... Oh my goodness, Grace, turn away now, because your man is stuck, and not in a good way. He's down to P11. We missed that on the stream. We're so focused on the tasty action here we've got at the up the front, and that gap still 0.2 of a second, so it's remaining fairly steady as I neglect the... Oh, I tell you what there, geez, that was... unfortunate for V8 man, but anyway, oh, here he comes. Now Waffles. Cartoon, I beg your pardon. Waffles in P3, of course. I was looking at the wrong man. Here we go. They're side by side on the main straight as Formula One rocks moves across. Oh, I tell you what, he's going to make more than one move there. We don't want to see any Max Verstappen style stuff, but it's all fair in love and war as they come down through turn 1, and the crisscross move. Is Cartoon going to make it stick? He started on the outside, he went to the inside, now he slots in behind him. Can he get a little bit of slipstream as he comes through turn number 2, heading into turn 3? This is very tight, I tell you what. There'd be nothing in this one. Couldn't put a piece of string between them at the moment as Cartoon a little bit down on his previous best lap. But, well, just take a breath and watch this. This is incredible. What a battle, Jace.
Yeah, it's pretty clear at the moment. Last F1 Rocks on wide. He's a bit vulnerable going into the corkscrew. Can Carter get the place?
Oh,
F1
no.
Rocks isn't going to let him. Isn't going to let him plug it out. You're really small then. Not going to let him have a good nice season move up the inside.
Here we go.
After,
It's
last week at Dubai, so
that's just how
not gonna make it
passionate.
easy for him.
No, that's how passionate we get here, Jace. So they got very close heading into the corkscrew, and boy, didn't Jono just close the door on him. And I reckon he's had enough. You said he might be getting sick of looking at that rear wing of Jono's car, but I reckon he's got a good run out of the final corner. Formula One Rocks looks to cut across him yet again. This is what we tune into the live stream for. This is what we love. Project Cars 2 racing at its best here on the PlayStation down the inside. Who's going to be brave? Who's going to be bold? There's contact again. Well, not quite as bad as what we saw in race 1, but still contact nonetheless. And lap 6 out of 14. I'm excited, Jason.
You know how close these guys are on track. Just look at the lap time. F1 Rocks, a 121.939 to Carter with a 121.965. So nothing in it. So it looks like F1 Rocks is good at that. But these two, Waffles and Mighty Murph, right in striking distance. So if they come together again, it could be big implications on it.
So basically what we're saying to you, Waffles and Murph, just who knows, just hang back there. Remember Stephen Bradbury, of course, getting the gold medal a few years ago at the Winter Olympics. You might just hang back and do a Stephen Bradbury if these two come together. And look at that lap time. All V8 man.
V8 man doing?
Off
what
again.
What is he doing? He's
well,
wheel turned off or something? I'm not sure. He's
I don't know what's
backwards
happening. What's going on there? Well, my goodness me, he might be going hungry tonight because that's no good for him. He's dead last too at the moment, 2.5 minutes behind. Anyway, enough about that. As well, those lap times very close. As that looked to be V8 man just off to the left there. As all that gap, it's bigger than what it was last lap, but it's still mighty close. Formula One Rocks there. Waffles and Murph, don't count them out. As V8 man good enough to just pull off to the side and let the leaders through. And Hekakosh, Andy as well, Fubbles, just giving these boys some stream time. A little bit of a battle there for P10, that elusive final points finish. 1 point for P10. F1 style point system is what we use here in this championship. It's round 8. Don't forget, just 2 rounds remaining. After this one, all the W's, supremeracingleague.com if you want to join in. 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. Every Thursday night on the Kit Buyers channel, you're going to hear the dulcet tones of Jason Wilkinson with his brand new mic and my brand new internet connection, Jace, which is mighty fine.
Yes, speaking of mighty fine, Mighty Murph is right there on Waffles. This could be a bit of a latecomer at the championship. Our old mate Alan, he's flying the flag solo tonight for the New Zealand boys. As Nemo, I'm not sure if Nemo you're still watching, but hopefully you can be back next week with some brand new pedals and should see you fighting off the front. But yeah, that's the start. Cartoon is it's still there. They're very close together.
And, well, HSV and Compact are going at it for P5 and 6. And, gee whiz, here we go. HSV on the comeback trail after that earlier incident in the race. And, very close indeed, currently in P6. And that gap, I tell you what, we don't know where to look. There's close gaps everywhere. Not much of a gap, though, between those two just then. As we ride in the cockpit now, we were with HSV. Now we're on board with his teammate Cartu, heading uphill now towards the corkscrew. Oh, and look at that. Once again, he's been doing that all race, hasn't he, Jace? He covers off the inside line, but Card Dude says, I'm going to go around the outside. Try this on for size. Very close. Just a 1/10 of a second in it. Absolutely fantastic stuff. No wonder we get thousands of views each week with action like this. Around, heading up towards the last corner now. Lap 8 out of 14. Oh, who's going to get a better run out of the final corner? It looks as though it's Cartoon, but Formula One Rocks just sprinting away. Look at that, the gap there going out to almost half a second from that last corner. So Jono there getting a better drive out of the final turn. But, 5 or so laps to go till the end of this one. And Formula One rocks. It's hard to believe. We've said it all night. He's missed so many points, hasn't he? He's missed out so many times in this championship. And it just goes to show you how good a job he's done earlier in the season. He's still in it, Jace.
Realistically, he's missed the Bruno, Nürburgring, and stuffed up on the Dubai. So that's 100 points he's missed out on. So imagine if he had won those races, he could be sitting on a deck chair, Fernando Alonso style, cruising at the back of the old V8 man, cruising to the back here, just feet up in the air, loving life after being a champion. But that's not how it works on online racing. You can have dropouts, you can have mechanical issues, you can have fuel issues, you can have anything go wrong, and that's why we have battles like this. P1 and 2 on track, P1 and 2 in the championship, and probably P1 and 2 almost in Australia, I'd say, but these two, as I said, lap records get smashed when these two put their head down and have a nice race. But at the moment, they're having a bit of a battle, so lap times aren't looking the best at the moment, as they're back in the 21.2s. Very close again, Cartridge slightly fast at that time. But yeah, it's one of the other battles that you want to watch, I guess.
He could be sitting on a deck chair, he could be sipping on some kind of nice drink, but he could be like me and you and everybody watching out there, Jace, tonight, who are on the edge of their deck chairs, because this is unbelievable stuff. Lap 10 out of 14. He could be resting easy, and he could be like me with a 37 standard upload speed too. Anyway, oh geez, I'll tell you what, am I excited about that, if I haven't mentioned it already. But anyway, enough about that. It's mighty, mighty close, and it's staying that way too. 0.4 of a second. This is the closest battle on the track. And you said it, Jace, it just happens to be between first and second in the race, first and second in the championship, first and second in the world, first and second in the universe, I'm sure. Ah, yes, fantastic stuff, and that is just the way we like it. Just the passion between these two and the speed and the pressure that they're under. And boy, there's another 11 people in this race. I know everybody watching at home will be interested in them. Mighty Murph for Ligma Racing. We still didn't quite know what that meant, and if we do, we probably can't say it on air. It's it's not 9:30 yet in this part of the world, in the eastern states, for everybody watching, because Mighty Murph now currently eyeing off a podium. Waffles in P3. Good race for Waffles, pretty consistent. Started in P2, got jumped by Cart Dude on lap 1, and he's been in P3 ever since that. And these two boys who were getting close to the lead, they're about 2 or 3 seconds off at best. Now they've dropped down to about 5 and 6 seconds behind this lead battle. But like we said, who knows? Anything can happen in this form of motorsport and online racing, and it usually does. Another great quote from Murray Walker, and boy, we're counting down this race now, Jace, that's for sure. Lap 11 out of 14, that gap getting a little bit bigger. Is Cart Dude settling in? Is he thinking championship points here? Does he want to make a move? He's a racer, we know that. Is he going to have a go, Jace? And if so, when is he going to get this move done with just 3 laps remaining?
Yeah, I'm not sure. You can see F1 Rock is defending quite hard, almost like the life depends on it, but of course it's just the championship, which is getting bigger, depends on it. So we might actually throw it to the our wonderful audience. Who do you think is going to win? Is it going to be this man, F1 Rocks, who's in front and likes to defend quite aggressively, but cleanly, might I add? Or is it going to be Cart Dude? Is he going to be able to make a move, the championship leader, and stretch out that gap back to the 33 points? Well, turn 1's probably the only place you can really pass. You've got to get a good exit out of the last corner, good drive, which F1 Rocks has done all race, and race 1 as well. Gets really good, clean exit off that last corner, so Cart Dude just can't get alongside to make a move up the inside. So, yeah, I don't know. We're not going to get involved, us commentators, because the old commentator's curse likes to kick in, but it's just too close again.
Very tense. I've got no fingernails left, Jace, but two great minds think alike, because just as you were saying, get your questions in. Get your predictions, I should say, for the race winner tonight. I was just happily typing away into the comment section of the live stream. Who will win this race? That is the big question. Either way you look at it, it's going to be answered very shortly as Waffles and Mighty Murph getting awfully close there. But wow, how good is this? A battle for first and second, or down the inside. Is he going to stick with it? No, can't do. Deciding to pull out of that one. Coming across the line then, lap 12 into lap 13 here. Down on his previous best, those times. The top three still in the 1:21s. It's very close. As Can't Do around the outside. We said this might be the only place to make a move. But, well, Can't Do, they're trying to take the long way around. And Formula One Rocks just needing to maintain his composure here. This battle, just imagine the pressure that is going through the minds of these two at the moment. All sorts of pressure on here. Who is going to be able to handle that pressure the best and come out on top here? This is not only a race to win here at Laguna Seca, it's a race for the championship as well. And Formula One Rocks has announced that he is back after the disaster. We mentioned about him losing points, Jace. The disaster from last week where he would have lost a good chunk of points there. Oh, here we go. There's almost contact again into the corkscrew corner there.
He really wants this win. He really wants it. You can see how much he's pushing. He's flashing his lights. He's trying to do everything he can to put off F1 Rocks, but you've got only one lap to go, so this is going to be an almighty last lap battle. For the
penultimate lap of the race. One more lap to go. They've hit each other. They've made contact. Can't Do right up his ginger. Oh my goodness me, the lights are flashing. I tell you what are we going to see in this last lap? Is Can't Do going to go for a lunge down into turn one? No. He's learned, has he? Oh geez, I almost spoke too soon then. I thought he might have learnt from his move in race one, but he almost went for it, and now he's lost a couple of tenths of a second, so only a few corners to go. About 2 or 3 kilometres. That's all that's left in this race number 2 here at Laguna Seca. And Murph.
So that's the battle for the third, so all over and done and dusted.
So
back to this battle.
Back to this battle indeed for the win. Waffles there getting up into P3.
Straight ahead, beautiful.
And I tell you what, look at that beautiful moon there, the full moon. Just coming out now in time for this battle, and well, Can't Do, I don't reckon he's going to be able to do this unless there's a mistake from Formula One Rocks. You never know. We've seen it lost closer to home than this. Nigel Mansell a few years ago.
Yep,
but
10 litres again, so
10 litres of fuel is enough. Can't Do running a little bit lighter there with 4 litres. Here we go.
It's you to take him home.
Round the last corner, Can't Do makes a lunge, but he's not going to get it. As Formula One Rocks, Jono comes across the line to complete a clean sweep here at Laguna Seca Raceway. He takes victory in race number 2, round 8 here of the SRL Project Cars 2 season. Can't Do behind him. He must have got a penalty later in that last corner there.
Last corner, he got 1 second penalty, but not to worry.
As Waffles, Murph there across the line into P4 after a slight mistake on the last lap. HSV, good recovery drive from him. And Compact, well, he's got a penalty, so he might not finish in P6, but he's shot up the order there. That's a good result for him. Across the line then, Fubbles, yes indeed, like we thought, taking P6 ahead of Compact. Andy, who missed race 1, joins us for race 2, finishes 8th. Righty comes across the line. And his son's going to be happy. P9, 2 points for Daddy. Here comes Womp. Yes, picture perfect finish there for Womp and Team Kiwi Racing. Gets a single point. Hekakosh misses out. That was a very close battle for the final points paying position.
Here we go.
And look at that for a shot. Very nice. That's my, geez, that's my...
in the background. With that moon just tripled in size, or was that just my eyes? I'm not sure.
That moon is getting bigger. That's very strange. The werewolves might be out as Formula One Rocks. That might be my YouTube channel art. How good did that look? As there we go, the results are on your screen. There we have it. And Formula One Rocks taking victory 2 from 2 here at Laguna Seca, round 8. Completing a clean sweep here tonight. 2 seconds ahead of Can't Do in P2. And that championship battle will continue into the final couple of rounds of this season. Waffles for On the Couch Racing getting a podium here tonight. Murph, after a mistake late in the race, missing out on P3. HSV, a good recovery drive from him. Fubbles getting P6 over Compact, who had a penalty towards the end. Andy getting P8, of course. P9 for Righty. And Womp in P10. P11 for Hekakosh, missing out on points. And it was Mickey in P12 rounding out the finishes here tonight.
Fun rocks, 2 from 2. You like to, if you win the first race, you always seem to win the second race in the Super Sprint round. So that's all done and dusted now. No more Super Sprint rounds. But you've done what you need to do, get 2 wins, and now the gap is back down to 19 points.
Yeah, it is.
Yep,
Yeah,
getting better at
it's a good race.
getting better at the answers. Pick a couple extra words. But
It was a good
you
race.
do know
It's pretty
that.
hard.
Yeah, looks like a nice hot battle there. Couple little little rubs from the back of your car, thanks to car two. But didn't seem to be any anything other than just light flashings trying to put you off. But obviously it didn't work.
It didn't. Good, it's good. I like it. It was fun. Pretty intense.
Going into next week, you do know that car two is not racing, so if you win, you could potentially take the championship lead back going into the last round, which you might not be racing at, or you probably won't be racing at.
Yeah, it's been a DNA. I don't know what'll happen. We'll see how it goes, eh?
That's just the attitude you need.
That's good. That's good. Any questions to Trev or not? Nope.
Well, I'm just going to say, first of all, congratulations, mate. You sound a little bit hot and sweaty there, and so you should be after that intense battle, mate. I'm just going to say one quick question. How did you cope with those last few laps, mate? I know it was a little bit easier towards the end of race 1, but Kart Dude was hot on your heels there towards those last couple of laps. Was there any realistic places he could make a move on you, or did you have it pretty much covered throughout that race?
I mean, you can always try and get ahead. It depends how hard you defend. So, yeah, you make your opportunities.
Well, thank you, Jono. 2 rounds left, mate. You're probably going to miss the season finale, but Jace, go for it, Jace, sorry.
Just jump in. Do you know what happened to your teammate halfway through the race there? Was it a wheel problem or something? Because he was driving backwards. Driving backwards on the front straight, and I thought I was going to get involved into you two, but
I think it was a wheel problem, yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks for that, mate. We'll see you next week.
All right, Jono there, our race winner for race 1 and race 2 tonight. If you've got no steering wheel and you're driving a car, that's probably not a good thing. So V8 man probably didn't stand a chance there tonight, Grace. Sorry about that. As Formula One Rocks leaves the party, and we welcome Brody into the party. I think I saw him join just a few moments ago.
Yep.
Kart Dude, was it realistically, what were the chances of you getting through at that last corner, mate? Was it all or nothing there at that on the last lap?
Yeah, pretty much. It gave me a penalty anyway, so I had to try. I mean, there was a couple times I probably could have thrown it down there, but he covered it pretty hard. So
you couldn't afford turning him around and getting a points penalty as well for the championship. So
it would have been his fault though. Maybe Jackson.
well, yeah, you never know.
But,
luckily,
you never
no
know,
contacts.
but,
That's the main thing.
No. I mean, I gave it everything, and I can't be too disappointed with today's outcome still, because I know I put best foot forward still. So.
Yes, you've got to be happy with that, and also too, Jace, and while we've still got you there, Brody, that championship gap now, he's eaten a little bit into that championship gap, but only 2 rounds to go, so if you can finish, minus all the mathematics and different formulas and all that sort of stuff, it looks like you might be missing next week. Formula One Rocks might be missing the week after. So I tell you what, it might be even there, 1 race apiece left in this championship. And I've got to say, mate, that's a pretty handy lead you've got. Is it just a matter of playing it safe now, a bit like Nico Rosberg at the end of 2016? What's the mindset, mate, going into that last couple of rounds?
It really depends what happens next week. Because, I can't make it. So,
If he wins, he's 6 points ahead. So.
I think there's a possibility, I could have a points deficit for the last round.
Yeah,
so that could be exciting, especially with a shootout quad.
Yep, shootout for back
doing that, and pressure on that 1 lap, Trev. That could that could be the difference between being a hero or zero. So,
It could decide the championship. Hero to zero can happen very, very quickly. It's a bit of an annual thing, isn't it, Jace? Our championship contenders don't like turning up for that last race in Bathurst. But anyway, hopefully we can have a good old ding-dong battle at the end of this championship season. Cart Dude, thank you very much for joining us. P2 tonight, but still P1 in the all-important championship race, mate. Have a good night. We'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Goodbye, Brody, and catch you later as Waffles. As he leaves the party there, Brody. Goodbye for him as Waffles joins us now. Just a sneaky little podium for you, Waffles. Hopefully you're hearing us loud and clear there, mate. Not a bad result for On the Couch Racing there tonight. Tell us a bit about your race, mate. A bit of a battle with Murph before he made a bit of a mistake and dropped further down, took the pressure off you, but you've got to be happy with P3 tonight.
Oh yeah, I like the sneaky little podiums. The first race is one to forget, but certainly the second one, Murph's applying that blowtorch all race, and it was, not gonna lie, it was a bit of relief when he spun at the last lap, get to back off. Cause,
yeah, we sort of missed. We did see him spin. Sorry, we saw him. He dropped behind, but obviously we'll focus on the battle at the front. But you two did have a good battle. We did sort of go to it a few times, so good to see you hold on. And yeah,
the second part of turn one. Yeah, we got a bit on the throttle too early and spun.
Okay.
Trying to get a run on me. All you had to do was wait for the corkscrew. I was so terrible through there. The car was just so unstable. I thought I was gonna every lap. I thought I was gonna rocket off the other side of the corkscrew and go for a flight.
Now you're worried about you're gonna just launch into orbit there. It is one of those corners. Get your questions in, Jace. Nice there. Any questions about next week or tonight? Everybody out there watching, we've had pretty good numbers on the live stream and in the comment section tonight. Now, Waffles, just one more question from me, my good man. Turn one there. It looked as though you were in a little bit of a battle with Cart Dude, but it didn't take too long for him to sort of pip you into P2. Was that just a matter of letting those two guys go ahead into the lead and you sort of running your own race, or did you just did he really put one on you there on the first lap, or what happened there, mate?
Well, at the start, I thought I jumped again because I moved and I thought I jumped, but so I let go of the throttle, and then everyone else got. And then he just had the inside. There's not much not fighting. Didn't really fancy losing a podium to try and get second. And then my hopes were much if they tangle, I'm in the prime seat. So just let them go, see what happens, really.
Yes, it's
not much to it.
Not a bad. I'll tell you what, some pretty good advice there from our top three tonight. They're full of good advice. But no, congratulations, mate. Waffles. For On the Couch Racing. Good podium finish. P3 tonight. All the best for next week as well, and looking forward to seeing you next Thursday night in Road America. Thanks very much for joining us, mate.
Nice. Hey, see ya.
And Waffles just leaving the party there. Our P3 finisher for tonight. Well, Jace, I reckon tonight's stream and broadcast has gone off without a hitch, as we might wait for a few more questions just to come in if anyone's got them. Yes, thank you, Waffles, leaving the party there. And, well, it's been quite a success. Like we said, we've been banging on about it all night. But this live stream, of course, with the new internet provider, oh yes, Optus 4G TP-Link modem, I could kiss you, because it's been a steady 60 frames a second all night long. We might just give another quick plug, of course, to Anthony Riley, Jason, and that Minds of Motorsport podcast, Facebook page, Instagram as well.
He's internet mate. Big fan. He's loving the quality, he said. But yeah, well, so again, same thing. Facebook, Instagram, the podcasts on the iTunes is just Minds of Motorsport. And yeah, you got guys like, if you're Australian, so your Cam Hill, your Adam, and we won't butcher the name again. But yeah, so you got all heaps of stuff. And you got Fernando Alonso's front right or front left mechanic, the wheel gun mechanic. So quite good insight into what it takes to be a real life driver. We're all just sim racers and having a bit of fun here, and we'll Trevor back on a Thursday night commentating. But yeah, so if you want to check out the podcast. Very, very, very great podcast, by the way. I like listening to them on the way home from work. Link is in the description after the race, and yeah, I'm sure he can plug it in if he wants to in the comments if you're still watching. But yeah, so much appreciated if you leave a leave a rate on the iTunes as well for him.
Get amongst it. Get on the podcast, iTunes, you name it. I'm not sure if he's single, ladies, but he's, I'm friends with him on Facebook, but he is, of course, just, isn't he? We've mentioned it before. He's a smooth-looking unit if he's still listening out there, and boy, he'll be pushing them off with a stick because those ladies will be all over Facebook, all over that podcast, and we will be too. Like we mentioned, all the links down in the description. And we might turn our attention, things are a little bit quiet on those questions, Jay, so we might just quickly remind our audience of the setup for next week. Like we said, 2 rounds to go. Tonight, of course, was the last of the Super Sprint rounds for this season. Round 9 coming to you from Road America, staying in the good old US of A. 20 laps. Don't forget to tune in from 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time on the 23rd of August, so next Thursday night. And we're just about done here, Jace. Pleasure to have your company as always. My good man, my co-commentator, doing a very awesome job. And we've got to give it to our audience too out there who have stuck with us through thin and thin. In terms of thick and thin, I should say. Thin and thin. In terms of connection speeds and whatnot. But and we've got to say, Jace, we've been saying it all night, but we just appreciate streams, commenting, all the rest of it, all of the above. Because, I guess we sort of turn up, don't we, Jace? You do all the hard work. You change the camera angles and try and do your best to talk about it as well. You flick through trying to keep me on my toes. But I'm just waffling on a bit too long. Waffles. He's left the party, hasn't he? But no, big thanks to everybody, Jace. Thank you again, mate, and we shall catch you next week, Jace.
Yep, Road America, back to normal round, 20-minute quali, 20-lap race, I think, 20 or 21-lap race. It's Road America, so like our American tracks this season. So it should be a good race, and then obviously the final race of the year, final race of the season at Bathurst the week after. So 2 exciting long races to come, and should be good to see. So let's hope this video gets a few K views, and we're going to have a big audience for the next 2 weeks.
No doubt about that. It's only going to get bigger from here. Don't forget, we say it all the time, all the W's, SupremeRacingLeague.com to get involved. That's been round 8 of the SRL Project Cars 2 Asia Pacific V8 Supercar Championship. Thanks very much for joining us. Have a fantastic night, and we will see you next week to do it all over again. It's bye for now.